Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And we'll be doing a drawing of bears within this live tutorial session. And if you've been following my live streams, you will also know that I have another channel where I make drawings, where I also show live stream. And one I just completed about half an hour ago is the drawing on an elephant. So we're going to try and adopt the same techniques of drawing. Let me show you this drawing that I finished and the other. See there. So this was the drawing we did on the phone. So it's all done on the phone here, as you can see, using the Paintology drawing app. So there are no tools or drawing experience required as such to make drawings like that. It actually builds on your drawing techniques and skills. It's a shame that most of the drawing apps focus very much on using tools, and uh, and forever the users are chasing after tool to make a specific drawing, and but they overlook the fact that techniques, just like in traditional, were the key elements of making good drawings. Like, for example, the art fundamentals, drawing techniques, drawing the tones, developing tones, form, shape, values, all these things you probably heard in drawing classes. Well, this is put into practice with the Paintology app. This is how the Paintology app differentiates from the other apps where you doodle. You're left to your own devices using all the tools, and you get better with one tool, then you use another tool. And the problem with that is that you become so dependent on the tools, you're not developing techniques. Like, for example, this drawing was done with one brush and no layers or blending or such. And it's just like the traditional. You'll see it almost looks like a traditional drawing. You couldn't tell it was a digital drawing in the first place. So that's what we're going to do. So to get started, you probably want to get the app installed and follow along with me. I encourage you to follow along with me for good reason, is that you're going to learn. And if you look at the description, you'll also find a class, Google Classroom, which basically takes you through the whole process of drawing with the Paintology app, but learning all those important skills. If you ever wanted to enjoy drawing, if you were young and you never really got into drawing, this would probably be a great time for you to get into drawing, because you've got the digital medium, you got your phone, and you can make great drawings relatively easily. And I'm going to show you how. So we have this Paintology Google Classroom, which you can join for free and follow along at your own pace. And then we have, oops, sorry, missed that. This one, you go to paintology.com and the live streams are available from a link just quarter of the way down. Live streams, click on that on the paintology.com and you'll come up to another page, and then you'll see the 15th September listing, which is where I show you the drawing. So I completed this elephant drawing that I used. So the reference image for the Paintology is this image here. We're gonna use as a reference, so you can download that and then get it ready for the drawing we're gonna do here. So this is one of the drawings I did on just earlier, and then you can see the live streams. I do quite a few, and I show techniques of using. I'm not using a myriad of tools. Like, for example, this one I quite like. This is the drawing of a rose. again, the idea behind that was to show the blending and how that works, how blending can be done using. So this was just done with the line brush and using this setting here. So that's how it works. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing with the bears drawing. So let's go ahead and open up. So this is the home screen. And by the way, you have plenty of tutorials for you to practice with. And this Google Classroom actually keys into these different types of classes, that tutorials for you to practice with to improve your drawing. So the whole classroom idea is to get you better in drawing. And trust me, this is not for you to become super proficient in Paintology, is actually to develop art techniques that you can transfer to any other art mediums. That's the way art should be taught, in my opinion. But you may differ when it comes to digital drawing, but that's probably one of the reasons why digital drawing has a big bad rap with the many traditional artists. And I come from a traditional art background, but that's not my main skill. My main skill is actually technology, and it just so happens that I enjoy drawing, and I've always enjoyed drawing. So there you are. So let's go to draw, click on draw, trace image, and then we're going to pick that bear's drawing here. And this is what we have here. Let's put this on the right. And then you'll notice that I have it on grayscale. This is the grayscale that you can see the color bar change. This is, I highly recommend when you're starting to improve your techniques to use grayscale. That's the reason that I'm showing you this, is that grayscale mode helps you to understand tones a lot faster and better than color tones. Color tones are harder to differentiate, but grayscales are easy. All you have to do is, you can see the contrast, the dark areas here. I'm going to pick a brush here. Let's take it to 100%. And then you can see there's a darker tone here, here, and around the eyes, here, here, here. And then there's lighter tones here, right? And then here, lighter tones, lighter tone. This is also light tone, right there, there, there. And then very light tone with the sun falls on that. Okay, so this is, if you think you can't draw, trust me, when I've taken you through this process, drawing has become natural to you. So those people who says they can't draw have obviously put up an obstacle, and they're not going to cross that obstacle unless they actually convince themselves that they should give it a try and draw, right? So, and I feel sorry for many people who actually just dismiss the notion of drawing based on the fact that they don't have any skills, and it's not true. All the artists you'll come across will tell you it's a skill that can be developed. And Paintology is designed to get you those skills a lot faster. So that's the tones we have. So tones are the most essential thing, and I'm going to talk about it throughout the drawing. So let's go back. I'm not going to undo, and then pick the drawing again. All right. So what's the first thing we do? Well, as I said, you're not going to be drawing. You're using the trace mode of drawing. And trace mode of drawing is, if you can't trace, that means you can't read, in my opinion. Come on, you can't trace this. Right? Let's pick a line brush here. Let's pick a line brush here. Let's do that. See that? There. Surely you can do that, right? So let's do that as a first start. Right, so this will help you to get comfortable with this particular drawing. It's called a line drawing, and it's perfectly fine. You can line drawing is an excellent way to learn to develop your drawing strokes. Just following this, and then just following this. So here, right? So it's just picking these tones. See what I'm doing? I'm actually picking the actual dark contrasting areas. That's all I'm doing. Just little cubs of the bear, right? Very easy. You can go rapidly. Just to show you, get you comfortable. Don't worry about getting details. Just see that there. Actually, my 9-year-old daughter got me into line drawing, and then she claims to be a intermediate, and she calls me a beginner line drawing, and I've learned quite a few things with. You might see some of her line drawings. It wasn't done by me. And the video shorts, you see the recent ones. That was her actually. She's actually 9 years old. She gets the art from possibly from me and my interest in paintology. So let's see what we have here. We've got quite a little bit going there, isn't it? Let's finish that. This. Don't worry about not getting it right. Okay, just there. Okay, there. Let's see what we have here. So we have a line drawing here. Can you see it? I mean, that's pretty obvious. That looks like a bear, but look how easy that was done. And don't tell me you can't do this. Come on. I would be really surprised if you say you can't do this. And it's so simple, isn't it? You're just following the lines here. I would really like to know why you can't do this, because it will help me to understand and probably give you a bit more better advice. So I'm going to carry on. I always try and adopt different techniques, right? So I got this here, right here. So now I'm going to carry on adding more details and see if we can improve this drawing. So let's save that. And then keep it at the halfway. The reason I keep it halfway is because this half you can pick colors, right? You can actually pick colors. So what we're going to do now is, actually I've decided I'm going to change the method. I'm going to do more or less what I did with the elephant, do the block coloring. So here is what we do. The second step is we got a good warmed up to the actual tones. We've warmed up to the tones and tuned our mind to those tones, and now we're going to start doing something called block coloring. So this is fairly easy. So let's take a brush size, not too small. Let's say 6%. Let's see if that's a pretty decent size, or We take it even down a little bit, 5%. Let's do that. Yes, I think that's all right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to first click, we've got this halfway bar on the top half, so we're going to use the color picker to find the color of that particular point, and then we just carry on coloring. Okay, next we pick the color picker and find where the tones are. So what's happening? It's basically picking the tones that are specific to that region where your finger or stylus rests, right? Again, color, and then just confine it right there and there. So this is, you can't say this requires drawing experience, does it? Look, you can see the shift in the tones here. So pick a different, make sure you get the color picker to get those tones here, and then you can pick another tone here because it's different than here, and then you can see here it's darker tones around the eyes. Let's do that. Okay, here you see it, and now let's look at this tone here. See this tone, and then there's another tone here. The color picker again, then color picker, just to get these tones. So that's what all I'm doing. Trust me, if you don't know why you're doing this, just do it, and then you'll see for yourself how the image comes up. Every little now and then. It's like paint by numbers, except it's more versatile. It's a technique I developed on the Paintology while I was experimenting. There. See that? See this colors? There's the similar. So therefore I'm just doing the same color there. And even though around the nose they look similar, but look how different they are. And then there. And then let's just finish this big bear's face, and then we can take a look and see what more we have to do. So we can see there, tones here, and then as you get smaller in brush, your tones will actually get more refined. Okay, so we've got tones here, and then another tone here, and then probably a tone here. Tones, all variations of tones. And let's see if we got the forehead. Let's get the forehead. There, can you see how light the tones are? Because your colors, you see there, and then it's white here. That's white. This is very similar to the cat I did yesterday. So if you want to check out, the cat, you can do that. There, it's quite wide, white on the outer perimeter of that, of the ears, right? And then look how white it is there. Okay. Tones. And tones again. Okay. And then on this side, tones. Tones. Yeah, look at these tones I'm following. I'm following the direction of the fur as well. So all right. So let's see what we have here. Look at that. That almost looks like a bear. And how much time did we spend on that? This actually will spur you to carry on if you do block coloring like this. This is so easy. You'd be like thinking, wow, did I just do that? Anyway, that's what all of it is. So let's do carry on with this guy here. And then just use tones, okay? There, I can see tones here. Tones keep it confined as much as you can. The more confined you have, this is the way that they do hyperrealism actually. They define tones in such a smaller region in colors or in black and white, and therefore they're able to make some impressive drawings. But the problem is that they always say it took me 3 months to do one drawing. I'm sorry, I don't have that liberty of spending 3 months on one drawing. Okay, okay, just do that tones there. And do the same thing here. Get that. Okay. And then just get it quickly, right? Just get these tones out really quickly. We're going to spend too much time. See how fast I work. You will develop that skill in time. That. This is a light darker tone here, and then a light tone here, and a very light tone there. I can see it through the trace. Okay. So I'd like you to give it a shot and then post your drawing on community like I have done. If you go to the home screen, click on community, you'll be able to sign up with Google Social login and then just post to community, okay? A lot of the beginners also make the mistake that Paintology is a good app for kids. But when you can see the drawings that I've done, would you say it's just for kids? And the reason why they say it's for kids is because they don't know any better. All they know are tools. The more tools, the better, you know? That's the explanation I gave you. That should just goes to show how dependent they become with the tools. Have I changed my tools? No. Just still using. This is such a lovely and relaxing way to learn drawing. I would recommend it. You know, I did never get bored of this. Trust me, you won't as well. Alright, so let's see what we have with this little blighter. Did we get him right? Yeah, sort of, isn't it? So now let's work on this. It's the sibling here. Looks like almost like a human. I can see why teddy bears are quite a common toy for kids, even though they can be ferocious when they're older, right? Because they got a very human-like face. Alright, that's all I'm doing. I can work really fast. No biggie. This is the world of digital that we live in, and you can do so much with digital drawing. There you see, I'm just spotting the tones. And by doing this, honestly, you are actually improving your brain increasing your brain response to tones, especially when it comes to drawing, and that really helps you to get good in general drawing, just like I have. I can do photorealistic drawings very quickly without the aid of trace as well. Probably more faster than anyone in traditional. Okay, so this is how art should be. You know, you spend more time drawing, less time picking them in tools, right? I don't want to be always going one tool after another. That's the reason why Paintology is developed with this in mind, so you can select tools very rapidly, the important tools, and it hasn't changed. Have you noticed the color palette exists by 2 clicks, right? That's just not an option in Paintology because we want people to minimize their clicks and spend more time in doing the drawing, right? Okay, we'll take a look what we've got here, right? Let's take a look. This is looking good, isn't it? So what can we do now? We can just carry on, and I'll probably keep quiet and just carry on and just making the whole bear shape in this mode of drawing. And this really tunes. Look at this, right? No, no, what can you see here? How would you tackle this piece? Well, to me, it's very easy. I would just select this tone and just cover those dark areas. Can you see? That's all I'm doing, covering dark areas where I can see, right? And then you can really work quickly like this, right? And then you pick another tone, the whiter tone, and then just go over that. There, you see, that's all you're doing. Look how quickly we've covered this part of the bear. See, that was a dark area. And then I could say, well, I'm going to carry on this dark area and then pick the lighter tones here and just fill the gap. Now, come on, that wasn't difficult, was it? Just try it. Don't think you should be, held. You're not going to learn anything if you don't try it. Right there, look at that. That's why we got these lines here, right? You see these lines that I created initially? Okay, let's have a look what it looks like. Look at that. We've created some kind of a spotted bear, isn't it? But let's carry on. Don't think this is the stage. And I'm going to come to the very important topic called drawing process. Yeah, and I will talk about that when I get there. So just right. So I'm trying different techniques. I would probably have done it a bit differently, but I'm not going to confuse the subject just yet. Okay. Okay. rapidly erase through it. Don't be afraid, because we're going to cover a lot, right? We're sort of getting used to this furriness now. This bear has, and then in between, pick another color. Okay, got that really the dark area here, and then I'm still using the color picker. There. Let's see what we got. So we got this bit, then we need to just finish this off here. The areas we have not touched, especially the darker areas. Okay, there. It's all about techniques, not the use of tools. If you think the tools are going to make you a better artist, you're quite mistaken. I think so. People are still scratching their heads with what Paintology is all about, because they are too immersed in tools and the way digital drawing should be done, and they don't think outside the box. And this is where I'm here to show you thinking outside the box a little bit. Yeah, this is what's going to get you to be a competent artist. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's see what we've created. Ooh, that cub has got completely lost in that coloring, isn't it? So that's okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Now I'm going to show you the next step. So it's a logical step. Is how do I improve on this? Well, you've seen that we didn't quite get the bear effect, although it seems like we got some strokes and lines with the head of this particular bear. This one is actually doing quite well, isn't it? And then we've lost the other puppy, the cub. So, but I'm not too worried about that. So, because we're trying to get a more of a realism into these bears, so what's the next step? Well, the next step is pretty straightforward. You reduce the brush size to, I take it down to 2.6%. So now you'll see when I'm doing this, how different, take a good look at this body, right, and see how its body will take shape just by reducing this brush stroke. So what is it doing with this small brush? Trust me, with the small brush, you are creating more detail, and then you're also zooming in and being more acute with the tonal variations. Like, I'll show you, this is the brush. So now I'm refining these areas, these small areas. I'm going to cover a small area, and then you'll see that as I'm picking the color brush here, it will get a lot different to what you were envisioning with the bigger brush, right? Right, so here, can you see here, they've got more control over the, can you see the tones? Still got it at 0.5%, but you can see, you can keep moving it and seeing how the tones changes, so you can have a sort of a guideline as to what to do, right? So just doing it very tight in a smaller area and moving really swiftly. Right there. Right, nothing, no. I'm not doing anything different to what I was doing with the bigger brush. Just doing more, having more control. And you'll see that it can make a difference to the actual drawing. Okay. So here, can you see some black strokes going here? So pick up the black strokes. You see here how, and then you'll see how these colors will change. And the texture, that's the word I'm looking for, how the texture will also come out. Just like we got the texture on the elephant, this is just a technique of developing this texture. I'm not exactly 100% sure how it's going to come out as, but that's okay, because then we can keep doing something different. Right? We have so much control over what we're doing. And then if you're doing it manually like I am, you have high degree of control. With tools, you're limited, and believe me, with tools, you'll hit a wall eventually. Let's see what it looks like. Yes, where did we do it? We did it here, didn't we? Interesting. So what we can do is we can spend a good deal of time doing that. Or I can show you now, probably a good time to show you this is this density, this wonderful setting. You've been probably scratching your head thinking, what is that? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that, and I'll show you how this works. Basically, if it's 100%, the opacity is 100%, meaning that whatever you put down will be the exact tone that you've selected on the grayscale here, right? And then when you put it down here, you need to build up those strokes in order to get to the tone level here, okay? So let me show you what I mean. Let's go here and get this to about 30%. Let's take it all the way to the black. Now watch. Can you see it's almost behaving like a HB pencil. So I'm building the stroke, see? And then here, we'll go down here to the white level. Look, it will never quite reach, but it's still building up that tone. hue. That is fundamentally what's going on with the density, and that is key to making highly toned images. So let's try that. Right, let's go here. So I'm gonna use this technique. So this is the technique. So I've decided to that not to use this continued technique we were doing with the trace bar halfway. So instead, I'm going to switch back and forth like I did with the elephant drawing, and back and forth to develop the tones. So this is, I'm actually taking you to a different level of drawing where you need to now apply some of the drawing techniques you've learned. Right, let's take, for example, this. Right, so I'm going to take that brush, and then this is where we actually decide if that tone is density is hard enough. So here, can you see that? It's a lighter tone, so we're going to keep that. Then see this here, dark tone? Just build it up, just build it up. So we've just continued what we were doing before. Okay, and now do you see this dark tone? So that's what we're doing. Right there. And then let's look at this. Some dark tones there. Good, so we're going to build that up. Dark tones. Right, then you see there's also the dark tones. Yep, the dark tones here. So just stroke following the direction of the fur. And then here, can you see it? There, dark tones. Perfectly fine, right? I'm going over it really quickly. And then you can see dark tones here. Right, there's dark tones. Use your color palette. Right, the dark tones. Good. Now let's go here. Some dark tones here. So we've got making most use of the dark tones here. Good. So very different to what we were doing. More dark tones here. So, and I'm going to show you this area once we're finished. It's all about the techniques. All about the techniques. Right, now got these dark tones here. Just give it that dark tones. And then we've got that furry tone here. So we can pick this color here. And then look at this beautiful white tones here. That's the white tones here. So that's the actual the pub. I mean the cub. So we can pick the tones that actually exist. Just follow the direction. All right, that's all we do. And then here, follow that direction. And then what we can do here is this area that we've been working on. Here, can you see there's a lighter tone? You look at that tone change and you decide if it's going to be that tone. So it's here, it's along here and here and here, right? So that's what we're going to do. See if that creates the effect that we're looking for, okay? Let's see what it looks like. That's sort of having an effect, isn't it? Let's continue that down. This is techniques. You see, I'm building up techniques as I go along. So this is what I want you to learn. You don't think I should have all the answers. This is digital. Tones here. Tones, dark tones here. So what do we have here? Got some dark tones here. So again, I'm using the stylus to really move rapidly. In fact, I don't think the finger is going to move as rapidly as I'm doing with the stylus. Then look at this beautiful light. This is the light tone, so do that, and then the dark tone here. And then we this light grayish tones here. We'll just work on that. And then what do we have here? We have a very dark tones, not dark, not as dark. Right, just following that. And a bit of a dark tone here. Just trying to emulate what's on there. And then we can move that down and do the midsection here. Give it like some blending. And then what we have here, again, it's these, just creating the illusion of furs, isn't it? That's all we're doing now. Here, creating the illusion. Down here, that's all we're doing, creating an illusion of the furs. Then I got this here, this little, it's the puppy, isn't it? The cub. And then here we can see that this is shaping up a little bit, and then here, this bit, this area, that the bear, right? Keep in mind that we've still got pretty large brush size. Right there. This is probably a bit too big a brush. We can carry on, right? No big deal. Then here, just get that fur down there. Right, and then here, got that fur down. Right there, that's it. Then you got that little white area there, just that side, and then wow, we got some nice furry stuff going there. And then if it's too dark, just increase it. It's probably a bit too big for the brush size that I would like. Then we have this dark here, which this part of its head. Oh, that's his ears actually. So let's define his ears. Right, so that's his. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, just a little bit of effect. You can that, just, and what we have here. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Look at that big improvement, you have to admit, that small cub. So what I'm going to do is I'd like you to continue, because this is taking a bit longer than I thought. I'd like you to continue and finish this drawing and show it to me on the community, or send some feedback or comments, and I will finish this drawing and I'll post it for you to look at, and using the same techniques. I don't think there's any more techniques, so the only thing I can think of is the background, which I will again did very quickly as I did in the elephant, not spend way too much time, and then I will just finish that drawing off. So I hope to see you again tomorrow, and I hope you like this techniques drawing that I've been teaching you. It's more about drawing rather than about tools. Just keep that in mind when you come to do Paintology. If you're hunting for the tools to make your drawing, you're approaching it differently. You should be learning techniques, art techniques. That's what separates good art from all the beginner arts, okay? And digital art is no different from traditional art, as I have shown you here. So we'll finish this drawing, make it look nice, and then I'll come get back to you with another drawing tomorrow. I'll probably talk about this drawing in tomorrow's live session before I do that. So before I carry on with the next new piece of drawing. So please subscribe and comment and leave any feedback, and also post to community of the Paintology app, and we will go from there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, and bye bye.